80, this lady is not yet ready to slow down. Still steady at the wheel, Dr. Annique Theron often pops into the head office of the company she founded 40 years ago. The name Annique Theron has been synonymous with Rooibos tea for more than 40 years. She's widely credited for discovering the exceptional healing properties of the indigenous plant and having made Rooibos one of South Africa's most recognizable exports the world over.
She remains the center, the culture, the motivator.
Her daughter, Suzette Ferreira, is the marketing director of her mother's company.
It's the one big thing that I picked up is that you've got to keep your mind going, otherwise your body will stop working.
Because she just doesn't stop, does she?
No. Well, it's good or bad, we don't know, but yeah, it's hard to keep up with.
Ernest du Toit, the CEO of her company, says a selfless motive brought her this success.
She never thought about this as a commercial enterprise. She was in the business of helping people, of saving lives, of changing and improving people's lives.
I was driven. That's the best I can describe it. I was absolutely driven.
But the journey has had its ups and downs. One of several books that flowed from her pen has been translated into Japanese, and she's been honored across the world.
The first one was when I was 60, Entrepreneur of the Year. And then, of course, the two I received in Geneva.
Among the honors, Best Female Inventor and for discovering the therapeutic value of Rooibos.
That was glory. That really was a wonderful thing to happen to me. I couldn't believe it. I was floating on air.
But 10 years ago, Dr. Theron was accused of illegally registering the name Rooibos in America. It's something she denies emphatically.
A plant cannot be registered as a sole trademark in the country of origin, but in another country it can. Like Rooibos doesn't grow in America, so it was legal and acceptable to be registered as a trademark.
Growing up in what was then rural northern Transvaal, there was almost nothing that could have prepared Annique for the road that lay ahead, except her insatiable curiosity and inquiring mind. As a child, she played with foxes, squirrels and steenbok, but later dreamt of becoming a medical doctor. One day, the determined teenager asked her teacher what subjects she needed for medical studies.
And you know, Bongani, he looked at me as if I was an alien, you know, from another planet. And later on I realized it's because girls didn't pursue a medical career. You know, there were so few. If there were so few. And here I wanted to know. That was a goal I actually set for myself.
And did you achieve that goal?
Yes, but 60 years later.
That happened at the age of 72, and the doctorate wasn't just bestowed on her. This hefty thesis was the result of over 30 years of research. But if that wasn't enough, she spent the next 8 years writing her autobiography, which was launched in time for her birthday in April.
From its humble beginnings as a foul-smelling brew first introduced to the Dutch by the Khoikhoi at the Cape, Rooibos tea has made its transition to being the drink of choice served in homes, in restaurants, and even amongst royalty.
Today I call it an aroma, Bongani, because I've elevated it from what it was at that time to what it is today.
Rooibos grows only in a small area in the Cederberg region of the Western Cape, and the herbal beverage is manufactured from the plant's needle-like leaves and stem. The modern-day hype around the brew began in 1968 by what can only be described as a twist of fate. Annique's youngest daughter, Lorinda, suffered from colic as a baby.
She cried from the third day. And, you know, right through the next 14 months, we had a terrible time with her.